Welcome back to AthsTV. Cam Luke, Tamsyn, Manou, Matt Lynch. And while the Coles Summer Super Series ended last week and we wait for the National Championships next weekend, plenty of athletics still going on as we focus towards Denmark for the World Cross Country Championships this weekend. And before we talk about the men's and the women's and who will be over there from an Australian point of view, we need to look at the course because we've discussed this course on AthsTV before. Yeah. And the cool thing about cross country and world cross country is the uniqueness and some of the stuff that they can do with it when it comes to the creativity, which we'll see in a couple of years' time here in Australia. But looking at that, the overlay and the graph and some of the spikes and all the rest of it and where you have to go, it's something that's really cool and can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, even just this graphic of setting up the course, it just throws it out there. It's good for everyone to watch, and they're actually letting the public have a couple of runs on it too, so it'll be a bit of a fun run there. It's in Aarhus in Denmark, and as you can see, that spike's just about to make its way up the top of the museum. What was the museum of, Tamsyn?
Archaeology and ethnography.
Oh, there you go. I should have known that.
So running on the roof of the museum or in the museum?
So they're running up the side of the roof on their way down, and there's actually a burn, you know, because you're going to be flying downhill just to help them get around. There's a Viking pit, there's a water pit, a mud pit, there's a pub that they're going to run through. I think it's just going to be a party.
Wait, hang on, a Viking pit?
I don't know. I'm waiting to see what it's going to be like. I saw a photo on Instagram today and it just had a couple of hay bales down the side. Didn't look like a Viking pit yet, but I'm ready to see it.
But that's what Sebastian Coe was after, the president of the IAAF. He obviously comes from the background of traditional athletics and he really wanted to bring back traditional cross-country. And I love what they've done here. They've done the traditional course but with a modern twist.
Yeah, you don't want it to just be a glorified golf course where it's just, you know, just run from the gun. It actually should be like a war of attrition out there, and I think that's what they're going to provide.
And you want your cross-country runners to finish covered in mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benita Willis, well, let's look back to 2004 when she won that gold. There she is. I don't know. And when you look at the statistics, and I know you've got the history of the stats, the outlier is this particular win.
So Kenya's won 316 medals. Ethiopia's won 264. Australia's only won 1. And this is it. I mean, this was one of the most phenomenal Australian sporting achievements ever. I don't think it got enough airplay because it was just phenomenal. What she did to the Africans that are, you know, in a lot of people's minds, unbeatable at long distance was just, I mean, look at the gap. She really pushed hard and she said she was hurting so much in this race at the back end, but she's just so tough. I mean, this is one of our best athletes Australia has ever seen.
Well, just no one else has done what she's done. And it's not only did she win that, but she was top 4, top 5 for the years before and after, just consistently up there.
Tamsyn, when you look at this year's Australian field, let's go. So we're heading over there in the athletes, and we can watch it on the IAAF YouTube channel as well. From 8:30 with the opening ceremony, under 20 men and women from 9:30 and continues over the course of the night. But with the women, who are you looking forward to?
We have a really fantastic team, but I think you can't go past Luci Duncan, who's our top athlete from the trials, and she obviously missed the Olympics through injury when she had been qualified, and she's come back against what the doctors said she'd be able to do, and she's running beautifully. She ran brilliantly in Sydney, and the girl who finished second in Sydney was Paige Campbell over the 5K National Championships, and she's got a beautiful running technique, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do. But I think the men's are probably the team to watch. We have some genuine superstars in men's distance running, and we don't even have them all here as part of our top 6. Fortunately, we've lost Patrick Tiernan, who is a big loss because he finished 13th in the last ones. But Stuart McSween, he's just been doing amazing things on world athletics scene, so it's going to be interesting to see how he goes, and he's in great shape. You know, indoors he ran brilliantly. Brett Robinson coming back, he's a World Championship Olympic finalist over 10K, so he's going to do something special. And then Jack Rayner, who won the inaugural Commonwealth half marathon, he's also one to watch. It's a team stacked with names, and I can't wait to watch it and see how they go.
A career year for Jack Rayner in 2018, and the confidence you'll get from that momentum leading into this, of course, is going to be big. If we go back to 1989, I think to Norway, Steve Monaghetti, here we go. This is, well, some old school footage as well. There's one as we...
I was waiting for some VHS lines to walk across the
as he finishes 4th in Norway. It's so cool, and you're right. You spoke about Seb Coe earlier and what he wants to get back to traditional cross-country. Look, obviously technology has improved a little bit as well, but it's so cool to see so many different aspects of running when they're out in the conditions. And that's what you have to fight back and not, what's that, nearly 30 years ago now.
Well, and there was 200 athletes on that start line. That's the thing about watching the cross country. You sit there and you're going to watch it. There is a stack of athletes. It's rough as guts. And you do end up covered in mud. And they're real tactical battles.
And it's 6 per country. So unlike, you go to a 10K, you maybe can only get 3 and not every 3 is going to qualify. But you can have 6 out there. So instead of just, Ken, you're going 1, 2, 3, they can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I've raised this before. This should be an Olympic sport, Tamsyn. Do you agree?
Cross country?
Yeah.
Actually, I'd really like to see that because I think it's a traditional sport and I think it's one of those things that people would genuinely like to watch.
Maybe make it 13 or 14K, so not that it's halfway to a marathon, but just so there's something between the 10K and the marathon.
Oh, I reckon I'd drop it down. I'd drop it down to 8.
Really?
Put some more speed into it,
Drop it down.
I like the 8.
Yeah. So you know when it's at its best? As you touched on, the conditions.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're halfway through it, they turn the sprinklers on and something random that changes
like
everything.
A dry
Make it a true test.
and a wet course.
Yes.
Yeah, back to back.
There you go.
Races.
Through a Viking pit with a couple of hay bales. IAAF YouTube for the World Cross Country Championships. Make sure you're across it Saturday night starting from 8:30.